So now I have to sand this all down nice and smooth, and it's probably going to take a lot longer since it is end grain. And then I'll just go by on the table saw and kind of square everything up after all that's done. Alright, so what I want to talk about right now is these big gaps that are in the board. And this is basically because if you don't have a jointer, then yeah, you're going to get some of these because the wood naturally isn't going to be perfectly straight. Now you can see other spots where it's like a really tight joint, like right here, but right there, it's really open. So what I'm going to do to fix these big gaps are, I collected all the shavings out of my sander, and it's really fine sawdust. So what I can do is put a little bit of glue in all these, and I'll just sprinkle this all over one side, and then I'll just come with the sander and sand it all smooth once it's all dry, and that should make the board look like one solid piece of wood instead of having all these big ugly splits in the wood. So I'm coming by, and I'm just going to try to get this glue in here as deep as I can. So now I have all the spots filled with some glue. I'm just going to take my finger and kind of try to push it in there as best as I can. And now here is where I'm going to grab some of this dust and just put a pretty good chunk on. And now I'm just kind of pushing it all in. Just rubbing it all over the board. And I'm going to let this sit for about an hour or so, just so it can harden up, and I'll come back, sand this side, then do the other side. And here's just a close-up view. Basically, this is pretty much like wood filler now, and I might do a video on how to make your own homemade wood filler, but this is pretty much wood filler, and all these gaps are sealed in pretty good. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the other side. And it's been about an hour, so I can wipe this away as well. Thank God this is almost over. I have it all sanded, and I put way too much time into this cutting board. These things really take a lot of time, and I'm going to finish it all off with a few coats of some spray lacquer. Spray lacquer? I don't think so. On cutting boards, you're going to want to use a food safe finish, and spray lacquer is definitely not the way to go. Now I have this cutting board oil. It is food grade mineral oil. Anything that says food safe is going to be fine for one of these. You just don't want to use anything that has a bunch of chemicals or something like that that could possibly harm you when you're cutting up your food. So I'm just going to start pouring some on, and it's probably going to require a lot because end grain is so absorbent. So you just want to put a few coats on. And I'm just going to rub it in with the rag. So that wraps up how to build a wood cutting board. If you don't like to do sanding, then this is probably not the project for you. But it should last for many years, and it turned out decent overall. This is my first one, so I'm pretty happy with it. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more woodworking videos every Tuesday. I'll see you guys next Tuesday. One more quick thing before I go is, I said that I was going to be doing a homemade table saw, and I decided that I'm probably not going to be doing that because I looked into it and I think it would just end up creating even worse situation with my table saw right now. I think the best way to go is, if you don't have a table saw or anything like that, then the best thing to do is to just use a circular saw. But since I have a table saw, I'm going to use it for a couple more months, and when I get the money to buy a nicer table saw, I'm just going to do that. So sorry guys that I'm not building that, but please do subscribe if you're new to my show, and I will see you guys next Tuesday.